Welcome, everyone, to Turn and Face the Strange, a pop music convergence on music and flux. My name is Michelle Habell-Pallan. I'm a professor at the University of Washington, where I direct the Certificate for Public Scholarship and the Women Who Rock Making Scenes, Building Communities Oral History Archive for the UW Libraries. And I am so excited to have a brief conversation with Quetzal from the award-winning band Quetzal. We're going to hear a track from their new CD, which is called Puentes Soneros. But before that, I have a question. And Quetzal, we've known each other for a few years through the Fandango tradition. And in fact, Sandino, who's going to be performing with you right now, is right in back of me, right here. So both my son and both my daughter and your son, they are together on the tarima, which is the heartbeat of the Fandango tradition. And I've learned so much from you and everybody involved about social justice and music and the beautiful dialogue that music can help us be engaged in thinking about transforming the world into many worlds where many people can live and live their full lives in in dignity. And so I wanted to ask you a little bit about understand how can we understand music as transformative justice, and how is that playing out necessarily in your life, but also in the music and in the new CD.
Yeah. Well, thank you. It's an honor to be here, as always, with you in conversation. Um, so, when we think about music and cultural practice in general, and I'm going to go deeper, a little bit deeper, and I'm going to talk about tradition, right? Cultural traditions that are rooted in a criteria that is very different from the criteria of the dominant culture, ideas of success, ideas of participation, ideas of even healing, come into play when we're talking about traditions, when we're talking about these things that are passed on from generation to generation, that have arrived in our hands and sometimes have traveled thousands of years, sometimes hundreds of years, but in any case have emerged and continue to emerge in spite of colonization, in spite of neocolonialism, in spite of neoliberalism, in spite of white supremacist capitalist patriarchy. And so when we think about music in that way, we're able to understand how it is the ancestors speaking through us, refusing, as George Lipset says, refusing an unlivable destiny, right? Refusing to die, refusing to relinquish that cellular memory that is passed on through our DNA, that really supports pathways towards healing. And we can't talk about transformation until we talk about healing, right? And we're in this moment of reckoning again, yet again in this country. And so hopefully what we can do is to invest in process-based engagement, process-based practices, so that, and I'm talking about music, I'm talking about theater, whatever it is, like anything, cooking, the need for us to convene around these practices and to view these practices as vehicles that afford us a mobility that is otherwise not available when we're using that other criteria, that other frame for success. And so music, and in particular music in community, affords us that mobility to be able to then move into the possibility of transformation. And when I'm talking about transformation, I'm talking about decolonial practices. I'm talking about undoing those things that we've learned, whether it's this product driven will, or if it's rape culture, or if it's machismo, like whatever it is that we need to deal with, that we need to reckon with, that we are able to build enough muscle as a community to to hold each other while each of us individually and collectively learns how to be accountable. And that's the word, how to be accountable and how to operate from a point of obligation to ourselves and for future generations and to our ancestors as well. And so it's this really expansive way of looking at music, a way of looking at healing, a way of looking at, because we're not just healing ourselves, we're healing. Healing does not happen in isolation. Healing happens in community, right? And when healing happens in community, then we're able to really think about the possibility of transformation. So that's where I'm at within this conversation around music.
Thank you, Quetzal. And I think what we're going to do now is we're going to get to hear how that all those ideas and that ethos, we get to hear it in the healing music that you're going to share with you, Martha Gonzalez, and Sandino. Yeah, so let's hear that beautiful healing sound.
2, 3.
Baile son, la liberación del pueblo. Clama el verso de Ramona, sin permiso ni perdón. La liberación del pueblo, melodía, baile y son. Clama el verso de Ramona, sin permiso ni perdón. La liberación del pueblo, melodía, baile y son. Revuelta y suelta, deja lo malo atrás, para aquel que el romper el ciclo, nuevo destino sabrá. Vuelta, revuelta y suelta, deja lo malo atrás, de la noche nace el día, la luz de la humanidad. Que forjó Mariel y Franco, que forjó Mariel y Franco por los caminos de paz. Con sangre, sudor y amor.